open season on cancer, a season that never ends.
When we hear that sound, the competition is on.
Wow, we certainly have a dramatic game ahead of us.
I'm taking a deep breath. I hope you are too.
Can you think quick enough?
It's very crazy.
And bet big enough?
12,400.
Whoa, he's betting everything.
The stakes are high. The clock is ticking.
This is nerve-wracking.
Do you have what it takes for Jeopardy?
Jeopardy! Weekdays at 4:30 on NBC 12.
You're watching NBC 12, your home for dramas, game shows, comedies, and sports. NBC 12, from where you live. Join the conversation when you're on the go. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date. Newswatch 12, from where you live. NBC Newswatch 12, news from where you live. Weather Watch 12 with Devin Biggs, 5 to 7 a.m. Live on NBC 12, this is Newswatch 12 Today.
Good morning, and thank you for starting your day with us. I'm Jackie Smith.
And I'm Michael Lodholtz.
Well, first day of September is here, and it's a very exciting day because freshmen are heading to school today.
Yes, some of the schools are starting today, exciting stuff across the Northwoods, and hopefully, the kids are all prepared and ready to buckle down after a nice long summer.
Absolutely, and we actually have Devin Biggs outside in Rhinelander. Devin, where are you giving us the weather from today?
Yeah, so I'm outside Rhinelander High School today, where freshmen are reporting today, and also in Rhinelander School District, 6th graders, I believe, are reporting today as well in their respective schools. So schools are starting already. Some have started already across the viewing area. Rhinelander's starting to get going today. Everybody reports as we head towards a Tuesday. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the forecast. So Tomahawk right now looking pretty good out there. Not seeing too much just yet. It's a little dark out here as well. You can see the moon just off to my right, though. And it's very nice out there this morning and a little cool. I have a jacket on. You might want that this morning. Well, otherwise, notice a few clouds developing as that's tracking from the west and going toward the east. So that flash you're seeing on a satellite imagery is that little glitch. We'll probably see that every day for a while now. But temperatures right now, we have 50s across the Northwoods, 47 degrees in Merrill, and some 50s further down toward the south. Out the door forecast today. Some of you are commuting, some of you are going to school today as well. And overall, not too bad. Upper 70s to lower 80s today and a partly cloudy sky. Guys?
The FBI in Milwaukee released age progression photos of a suspect they wanted for a deadly 1970 bombing. The FBI released these photos of Leo Frederick Burt. He is wanted for allegedly participating in the bombing of Sterling Hall on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Madison back in August of 24th, 1970. The blast from the explosion and fire killed a 33-year-old researcher and several injured, 4 others as well. This photo of Burt is age progressed to 75 years old, and he goes by the alias Eugene Donald Fieldston. 4 men were charged in the bombing, which was a protest to the war in Vietnam. The FBI is offering a $150,000 reward for information leading to Burt's arrest. He is considered armed and dangerous.
Wisconsin taxpayers are on the hook for the cost of legal fees to defend GOP drawn election maps. According to Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, taxpayers will cover up to $2 million for outside attorneys that were hired by GOP legislative leaders to defend election maps approved in 2021 that favored Republicans. The cost would go higher under provisions in 3 contract Assembly Speaker Robin Vos and Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu signed earlier this month. It's limited to $1.8 million over the next year under contracts with 3 law firms. Another contract sets no limit. States drew new election maps once a decade after each census, where lines can give advantages to one political party. Voss would not comment on the fees.
First Lady Jill Biden made a stop in Madison on Thursday. Biden is using the trip to highlight the importance of access to cancer screenings and showed her appreciation for educators at a back-to-school event. The First Lady received a tour of the laboratory at Exact Sciences, which makes, among other things, devices that can detect colon cancer early. She also spoke with lab techs that are a part of the process at the laboratory. She was also joined by both Senator Tammy Baldwin and Governor Tony Evers. Wisconsin is one of 3 states Jill Biden visited this week after stopping in Indiana and Chicago earlier in the week. The First Lady's visit comes as President Joe Biden visited Milwaukee just 2 weeks ago. And Governor Tony Evers visited a local health and rehab center yesterday.
Evers is hoping to extend funding for a program that allows the center to train more healthcare workers. Renee's group has 7 locations across north central Wisconsin, including one in Rhinelander. Renee's has used the state's WISC Caregiver Career Program to bring a CNA training program in-house. And through it, they've trained 150 CNAs in the last 14 months. Nicole Sinjak with Renee's says demand for healthcare workers will only rise as the population ages.
We need the support of funding to promote healthcare, to promote jobs within education that gives us a path for the future. So I think having support around supporting jobs in healthcare and funding for folks to become CNAs, free tuition, that's great.
Renee's has received over $120,000 in reimbursements through the WISC Caregiver Career Program. Governor Evers has called for a special session of the legislature to invest part of the state's budget surplus into workforce development. This includes $6 million into the same WISC Caregiver Careers program.
It is so important that we have the healthcare workforce issue taken care of, or at least moving in the right direction.
The special session also covers more funding for child care providers, and Republicans are expected to gavel in and out of the special session without taking up the governor's proposal.
It's a new month, and it comes with an old problem, a potential government shutdown.
The Biden White House is calling on Congress to pass a temporary spending bill, which would keep Washington, D.C. running.
But there are a few obstacles in the roadway. John Lawrence reports.
As millions of Americans will grill with friends and family this Labor Day weekend, there's a growing concern looming over the nation's capital.
This is their job. I'm talking about them doing their job and making sure that the government doesn't shut down. It is not a difficult thing. It is very simple.
The government's metaphorical bank book is set to go broke later this month when the current fiscal year comes to an end.
Annually, we put out a budget which showed the enormity of the problem, and yet nobody wants to continue to address it.
An Office of Management and Budget spokesperson issued a statement to CNN that said, quote, "It is clear that a short-term continuing resolution will be needed next month." The White House says a CR is needed to pay for assistance-based initiatives, including WIC, which stands for the Women, Infants, and Children Nutrition Program.
This is what they are supposed to do, make sure that the government works, and key vital pieces of programs continue to get funded.
But there's a laundry list of disagreements between congressional officials keeping the threat of a potential shutdown alive.
It's going to take a long, concerted, bipartisan effort to get our fiscal house back in order.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And coming up in international news, learn about the latest weather phenomenon that is happening soon in Hong Kong.
Plus, Canada has a warning for its citizens of the LGBTQ community as they travel to the United States. We'll take you around the world when we come back.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Wausau Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our unique doctor-supervised program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back safely, naturally, and effectively. If you'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no drugs, no hypnosis or surgery, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695.
Hi, I'm Carrie from Wittenberg. I lost over 100 pounds and 68 inches. I know the secret. Prior to starting this program, I suffered with chronic migraines, lots of joint aches and pains, didn't have the energy to be the mom that I needed to be. My energy level's back, my confidence is back. I would definitely recommend this program to anyone looking for a change.
For your free private weight loss consultation, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695.
I was in an abusive relationship for 10 years. Then it progressed from me to my son, and that I couldn't do it anymore, so I purposely became homeless to get away from that scenario. I was homeless for 3 months. I found out about Sunshine for Humanity. I knew I was in a safe place. My life currently now is actually really good. I got my own place. I got a car of my own. I volunteer every Wednesday at the homeless shelter. Our homeless shelter can house up to 8 people. You can stay here as long as you need. If you know of anybody in need, please don't hesitate to contact us. Come to Sunshine. That's where the help is. Help us pay it forward. Keep feet off the street by contacting us today.
All righty, welcome back. Here we are, first day of school for freshmen here at Rhinelander High School here. So, of course, had to bring weather outside of the studio today. And outside Rhinelander High School today, I do believe 6th graders in the Rhinelander School District also reporting today. Everybody reports on Tuesday after Labor Day. But for those that are still going outside, let's check out the weather right now. And over in Tomahawk, we're not too bad. Seeing the first tiny bits of daylight from the camera there in downtown Tomahawk this morning. The radar and satellite, we're looking pretty good out here this morning. I can look just up. I can see the moon right about in there. I can see a little bit of cloud cover up there this morning. So overall, we're not too bad as we start things off. It'll be a great way to start off the new school year, although we get hot just in time for the weekend as that front in Minnesota sits off to our west, and that warm front there is really going to help to push in some warmer air with 90s. Yes, 90s on the way just in time for the holiday weekend. Futurecast breaking us down. A gusty southwest wind will also pick up, and that can reach up around 25 miles per hour at times. As we do move forward, though, we are going to be watching for, again, a few more clouds that will also be developing as we do move forward. So we are going to be seeing us developing, moving forward. Looks like I'm having a little bit of difficulty moving the graphics right now. Hopefully that picks up soon. And as we do try to move forward, though, we're going to be watching for that. Here we go. Now I'm getting some response back from the graphics. So let's get things going again here. So sorry about that. So partly cloudy today, though. We'll keep the clouds going as the day progresses on. Later on tonight, though, we're going to be watching for maybe a few more clouds moving through yet again. But we may have to watch for a few showers that may try to get going as we head towards early Saturday morning, as you see right there. Maybe a few rumbles of thunder as well, so I'm going with a chance for a few thunderstorms there. But by Saturday afternoon, though, we are going to be seeing some clouds to the south and some sunshine to the north. And then once we clear that out of here, though, once we head towards Sunday morning, a few more clouds on the way, but the heat starts to pick up as well. And that heat is not good news for the drought monitor, though, as we're in severe drought across a good part of our viewing area, though. And the red shaded areas indicating extreme drought. And just to the south and east of Duluth and Wisconsin, exceptional drought, the worst category being indicated there. Alrighty, a muggy mirror, though, showing dew points that are going to be rising a bit, though. We'll feel it a little bit Saturday in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Sunday, maybe down just a bit. I'm wondering if this might be underdoing it just a bit, although temperatures in the 90s will definitely be rather warm. Then we'll start to feel it again Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Here's the gusty winds expected, though, out of the southwest, reaching up around 25 miles per hour today. Already gusting in a few spots already. We'll see the winds continuing later on tonight, but notice through tomorrow morning, they will start to back off, so the winds will start to calm down just in time for the afternoon. For now, we're in the upper 40s in Merritt, lower 50s in Rhinelander and also Eagle River, middle 50s in Land O'Lakes with some more 50s further down toward the south. Our average high temperature should be 74 degrees. We'll have lower 80s on the way for us today. Upper 80s Saturday, 90s. Hello, as we head towards Sunday into Monday, and also Tuesday we'll cool off into the 80s Wednesday with mid 70s as we head towards next Thursday. Your forecast for today, partly cloudy, windy out there later today with highs in the low 80s and that gusty southwest wind reaching up to 25 miles per hour. As for tonight, mostly cloudy, some isolated showers on the way, lows in the lower 60s. Southwest wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour. Northwoods Furniture and Mattress, 7-day forecast. We might get a few rumbles of thunder Saturday morning with highs in the upper 80s. Then the big story, though, sunshine and heat Sunday into Monday. Temperatures in the lower to possibly middle 90s. Tuesday was still warm in the 90s, and then 80s Wednesday with a chance for storms, and then cooling off Thursday with highs in the mid 70s. Michael?
Thank you, Devin, from outside the school. Typhoon Soila, though, appears to be weakening as it approaches Hong Kong on the other side of the world. Though still equivalent of a Category 4 hurricane, the storm will continue to weaken the closer it gets to the Hong Kong city and is expected to be downgraded to a Category 2 when it comes closer to Hong Kong. And according to the Hong Kong Observatory, the center of the storm is forecast to stay just off the coast, and it could skirt within 100 kilometers just south of the city. However, if the center of the storm moves north, conditions along Hong Kong will continue to worsen. The worst of the conditions are expected to be felt Friday evening, local time there, when wind speeds could reach up to 119 kilometers per hour. And Canada has issued a warning to its LGBTQ+ citizens about to be traveling to the United States. The warning says that Canadians should be aware of certain state laws that may affect LGBTQ+ people. Though it doesn't single out any one state's laws, the Canadian alert references laws in general. Those include bans on drag shows, restrictions on gender-affirming care, and participation in sporting events. The advisory also links to broader advice on laws that criminalize same-sex activities or target people based on sexual orientation or their gender identities.
And coming up in medical news, we'll give you the details on a recall from Universal Meditech. Plus, a CDC study reveals a new link in overdose deaths and counterfeit pills. Your health news when we return.
When you shop and donate to Goodwill, the good starts with you. Whether you shop Goodwill for the thrill of the treasure hunt, incredible values on one-of-a-kind items, do-it-yourself project inspiration, or brand names for less, you can feel good about the impact you make. Your support keeps items out of the landfill and fuels job training and opportunities for people with barriers to employment in your community. When you shop and donate at Goodwill, Goodwill starts with you.
Hi, I'm Jessica Whitewing Clark from Ho Chunk Gaming Wittenberg. When I want the forecast for Wittenberg, I go to WJFW.com and check my hometown weather.
Your hometown weather, available 24/7 at WJFW.com.
When we hear that sound, the competition is on.
Wow, we certainly have a dramatic game ahead of us.
I'm taking a deep breath. I hope you are too.
Can you think quick enough?
It's very crazy.
And bet big enough?
12,400.
Whoa, he's betting everything.
The stakes are high. The clock is ticking.
This is nerve-wracking.
Do you have what it takes for Jeopardy?
Jeopardy! Weekdays at 4:30 on NBC 12.
Carpet City. Come to Carpet City Flooring Center and get the toughest waterproof floors in the industry, where they're in stock and on sale. Rigid Maximum XL is 50% thicker and 30% longer, resulting in maximum durability, which is perfect for active families and pets. Not to mention, it's easy to install. Come to Carpet City Flooring Center to get your Rigid Maximum XL waterproof floors today. Carpet City, our prices will floor you.
Go with the flow at Dvorak's Docks. Flow from Dvorak's Docks is installed by trained in-house employees. That's right, no subcontractors needed, so your shoreline setup is guaranteed. Get flow from Dvorak's Docks by calling 275-DOC.
When we hear that sound, the competition is on.
Wow, we certainly have a dramatic game ahead of us.
I'm taking a deep breath. I hope you are too.
Can you think quick enough?
It's very crazy.
And bet big enough?
12,400.
Whoa, he's betting everything.
The stakes are high. The clock is ticking.
This is nerve-wracking.
Do you have what it takes for Jeopardy?
Jeopardy! Weekdays at 4:30 on NBC 12.
And welcome back. Universal Meditech Incorporated is recalling several at-home tests due to potentially inaccurate results. They include Prestibio breast milk alcohol test strips, Prestibio ketone test strips, and Healthy Wiser Keto Fast ketone test strips. The company says it distributed them without getting proper pre-market clearance from the FDA. It says the tests involved in the recall were manufactured between March 2021 and November of last year. Meditech also is recalling other tests because it's going out of business. And overdose deaths from counterfeit pills are on the rise, especially among younger adults. And that is according to a new report published Thursday by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The CDC data shows that the number of people who have overdosed and died from counterfeit pills more than doubled in recent years. The report also says that illegally manufactured fentanyl was detected in nearly all overdose deaths involving counterfeit pills. According to the CDC, more than half of the deaths occurred in people under the age of 35. Hispanics were also found to be more at risk, and overdose deaths were consistently most common in Western states.
And coming up, we're going to be talking about all things sports. There's the kickoff of Friday Night Football. It's going to be an exciting time across the Northwoods. Check in to see all of the highlights as Saul Meyer breaks it down for us.
Rhinelander Pub is open for lunch. Our full menu featuring our all-you-can-eat soup and salad bar is now available for lunch. Ideal for business lunches or get-togethers with family or friends. We open daily at 11 a.m. We welcome reservations.
Race fans, get your recap of the weekend races on Racewatch 12.
Kate Heidemann breaks down the racing action Mondays on Newswatch 12 Today and Newswatch 12 at 6. Brought to you by Builder Service, Menke Buick GMC Mazda, and Next Step Prosthetics.
Join the conversation when you're on the go. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date. Newswatch 12, from where you live.
It's the huge Labor Day Super Sale going on now at the Furniture Den. You will save anywhere from 23% all the way up to 57% off our lowest marked price on pretty much everything in the store from now until September 9th. Buy a top-rated Sealy or Stearns & Foster mattress and receive 2 free memory foam pillows. Or how about a 2-sided Furniture Den mattress with cooling on one side and a traditional cover on the other? Plus, interest-free financing. There are just too many deals to list. Hurry in for our huge Labor Day Super Sale at the Furniture Den in Antigo.
Stuck on eggs, burnt on batter. You can't escape the nightmare of your sticky pans. Introducing the Granite Stone Pan, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Watch, we melted down these sticky candies in Granite Stone, and it just doesn't stick. We cooked a half a dozen eggs, bacon, cheese, and tomato breakfast with no butter or oil, and it just doesn't stick. Fire flambe or perfectly seared filet, just like the pros. Plus, it's PFOA-free and 100% dishwasher safe. Call or go online to get your Granite Stone Pan for just $19.99. Granite Stone is so durable it comes with a 10-year warranty. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan absolutely free. We'll even ship your entire order free. You get it all. An incredible value.
To order, call 1-800-898-6703. That's 1-800-898-6703 or order online at buygranitestone.com.
You're watching NBC 12, from where you live.
The Rhinelander Pub is now open Monday to Saturday. Come enjoy our newly expanded lunch and dinner menu featuring longtime pub favorites and new entree additions. You will love our all-you-can-eat soup and salad bar and Friday seafood buffet.
After an upset at top-ranked Newman Catholic, the Three Lakes Blue Jays are flying high as the #3 team in 8-man football. Now, they look to keep this train rolling as they face off against Wild Rose. So let's see if they can get it done in their home opener. Here in the first quarter, first play from scrimmage actually, and QB Jared Kaufman goes deep, and he connects with wide receiver Tyler Janikowski for the big play, and that ends up going for 6 as the Blue Jays take a 6-0 lead. Few drives later, Blue Jays with the ball, and it's Kaufman going deep to Janikowski again, and they connect for another big play, making everyone miss as he walks into the end zone, and it's 12-0 now. And after taking a 36-0 lead into halftime, head coach Tyler Maney said that the key to finishing this one off is to not get complacent.
We preach keep the pedal down until it's over. You know, I know it's a running clock now, so that helps us a little bit. But our guys have been here before, so they'll do a good job.
Three Lakes' defense was giving Wild Rose fits all night long. Jared Kaufman doing work on the defensive side this time as he forces a fumble recovery, and Carter Flannery's there to recover. Next drive, and Kaufman goes deep. Who else? It's Janikowski. He's there for the TD, and Three Lakes would go on to win this 48-0, and they're 2-0 on the season. Leona Urbino had a great week 1 to their season, taking down Marion Tigerton at home. Now, they've got another tough 8-man team standing in their way, Almond Bancroft, who dropped their opening week matchup to Florence in overtime on the road. So let's see who came out on top in this non-conference 8-man football showdown. Here in the first quarter, Leona Urbino was showing off their defense. Good coverage by the secondary and a good job as a QB spy from Timber Cronauer as the coach's kid gets the sack. More good defense from the Rebels as Brady Shepard blasts through the Eagles' O-line to get the tackle for loss off the jet sweep, and he is fired up. However, Almond Bancroft's offense got hot, and it all started with this beautiful pass from Tanner Lamb to Aiden Phillips, who makes a bunch of Rebels miss on the big gain, and Almond Bancroft is going to go on to win this one 52-12. Crandon football got their first win of the season last week against Merrill, and we're looking to capitalize off of that with a win against Clintonville. It's the Power T offense versus the Truckers in Crandon on a Thursday night. Should be a good one. So let's see which team came out on top in this Northwoods Conference opener. Here in the third quarter, Cardinals showing off that defense. It starts with Ryan Shunk and ended with the whole team as Crandon uses everyone to get the tackle for the loss on the run. And here's what you guys came to see, that power T offense. I'm faked out and so are the Truckers as Mason Mullins is pulling out a big run to get a Crandon first down. But Cade Rosenau made a hero play for Clintonville. He escapes the sack, rolls right, throws a bomb in the air, and Samuel Wegner makes the sideline catch, stays in bounds, and scores as Clintonville is going to go on to win this thing 33-28. Let's move on from football to football, well, soccer that is, as some great Northern Conference teams were in action. The Hodags have been hot lately and continued that hot streak as they took down Anago on the road 2-0 to move to 2-0 in the conference. Next, Medford hosted Northland Pines in a GNC matchup, and that one saw Medford win it 1-0 on an own goal. Now on to some more GNC sports, this time on the hardwood for some volleyball action. Rhinelander hosted Anago in a conference game, and this one saw the Red Robins sweep the Hodags 3-0. Next, Lakeland Union traveled to Medford and were able to get the road win, sweeping the Raiders 3-0 to win their conference game. And finally, let's not forget about that Hodag girls swim team. Looking to go back to state this year, and they're right on track to do it as Rhinelander gets the road win against Ladysmith 134-36. Back to y'all, morning crew.
Thank you, Saul. And on the topic of schools, many schools heading back into session today or have gone into session already. Right behind me at Rhinelander High School, freshmen go back today, while in other spots, so all right, sixth graders will be heading back too. But otherwise, temperatures right now, not bad. Lower 50s here across the Northwoods, upper 40s in Merrill. Some other spots over in the 50s farther down to the south. I mentioned the dew points because they are close to the temperatures right now, so the air is kind of saturated out there. You might notice some areas of dense fog in a few spots. I know our scripts out here, a little wet out here courtesy of the moisture as temperatures are closer to the dew points this morning. Otherwise, though, some clouds are also developing, tracking from the west to the east. I can see a little bit of that up in the sky this morning, but overall, we're not too bad as we start things off here on a Friday morning. The travel forecast for today looks a little bit like this. We have 80s and 90s across the western parts of the state. It starts to get hot there today with a partly cloudy sky. For us, though, we'll be partly cloudy as well. Temperatures in the lower 80s overall. While further down to the south, though, we're not too bad. Temperatures in the 70s and also some 80s. A little more coming up after the break.
Look, Mom, I found one. Oh, yeah, you did, but we need an ATM from our bank, unless you want to spend a small fortune in fees.
No, thank you. Banking with BMO means more fee-free ATMs than the two largest U.S. banks combined, including places like pharmacies and grocery stores.
Saving money and more convenient. Look at you being so helpful.
What'd you expect? You're studying at a help stop.
That's you.
That's me, at a desk.
When a bank helps you get and stay ahead, that's the BMO effect.
Labor Day weekend at Crandon International Raceway is here. 3 huge days and nights of racing and entertainment. It's the biggest and most prestigious off-road race in the world. August 31st through September 3rd, the 54th Polaris Crandon World Championships. Get all the information for this incredible weekend of racing and camping at CrandonOffroad.com. See you at the Big House.
Hi, Bob Pucci for Take Kid Hunting Foundation. We're having the Eagle River Gun Show this weekend at the Ice Arena on Highway 70. Admission is $8, 14 under are free. Show hours are Friday from 3 p.m. to 8, Saturday 9 to 5, and Sunday 9 to 3.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call now.
The Northwoods provides plenty of beauty year-round, and the weather events that develop can produce some amazing photos. Submit yours online at WJFW's Weather Photo section on the website to share with the WJFW Weather Team. Live on NBC 12, this is Newswatch 12 Today.
Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us today. I'm Michael Lodeholtz.
And I'm Jackie Smith.
Lights, camera, and a local legend is going into action.
Our own Isabella Lisco went to Minocqua to get a peek behind the scenes.
Audio, video, good. My mom actually told me, she's like, yeah, you're doing this video thing for Minocqua Winter Park when you're home. And I was like, what video thing? She's like, I told you about this. I was like, no, you didn't.
I'm here at Milky Way Coffee Company, where Olympic skier Kevin Bolger is shooting a promotional video for his hometown Minocqua Winter Park.
I'm really excited about Kevin because I love winter. And I think he is going to do so much to help promote this great place.
Kevin says working with Versant to create this ad was a no-brainer.
I've been to some pretty amazing places, but there's something about coming home to Minocqua and the lakes and the trees and the forest and the trails and everything about it. It's just so special.
One more time. Okay, try one more time, too. Okay.
Versant CEO and Minocqua resident Will Rook says his company will use the interview with Kevin to create 6 to 7 short videos promoting the park.
An amazing place that brings people together who truly are inspired by connecting with nature, with their families, with their friends, and I think it's so important to make that story known.
Best skiing in the U.S., I would say.
Kevin says he took his hometown for granted growing up.
I kind of re-fell in love with Minocqua when I left because I realized how special it truly is.
Something he's now able to showcase.
Just another thing that makes me feel so special about what I do and the people behind me supporting me.
It's fantastic seeing him, appreciate where he came from and, also doing a great job over at the Olympics back in 2022.
Absolutely. I always feel like when you spend your whole life trying to get out somewhere, and then when you leave, you want to come back. So it's really great that he kind of rediscovered his love for Minocqua.
Yes, he did. But hopefully Devin Biggs is rediscovering his love of school this morning. Devin went back to school for opening day. How is it going out there, Devin?
It's actually not too bad outside. We set up outside the school this morning. No, it's a nice way to start things off this morning. A little bit of a breeze out here, a little cool out here as well. I have a jacket on, but overall not too bad. The sun's starting to rise just a bit over there, and we'll definitely see the shot change with the amount of daylight coming up very soon. But let's take a look at Tomahawk, where we have a better view of the sunrise this morning, seeing some of that sunlight reflecting off of the clouds already. So not too bad as we start things off this morning. I did pull up our sky cam, though, before I came out here. I zoomed into the flagpole. You can see there's a little bit of a breeze out there. And this is just a teaser. We do have more gusty winds on the way later today that can reach up to around 25 miles per hour at times. And the radar and satellite is not too bad. Just a few clouds. And I can see some of those out here out and about this morning. But overall, we're not too bad as we start things off this morning. Temperatures upper 40s in Merrill, some lower 50s here across the Northwoods, and middle 50s over in Rome this morning. Out the door forecast for today, though, we'll be showing temperatures be in the upper 70s to lower 80s with a partly cloudy sky. And I've whipped out the bus stop forecast. We'll bring that out at 6 o'clock. Guys?
Pope Francis sent a telegram greeting to Chinese President Xi Jinping as he flew over China on his way to Mongolia.
Following a near 10-hour flight, Pope Francis arrived in Mongolia's capital, Ulaanbaatar, on Friday morning. It is the first time a pope is visiting Mongolia, a largely Buddhist country with a community of about 1,500 Catholics.
Elsewhere in the world, Typhoon Sola appears to be weakening near Hong Kong. Though still equivalent of a Category 4 hurricane, the storm will continue to weaken the closer it gets to the city. And according to the Hong Kong Observatory, the center of the storm is forecast to stay just off the coast and could skirt within 100 kilometers south of the city.
Canada has issued a warning to its LGBTQ+ citizens about traveling to the U.S. The warning says Canadians should be aware of certain state laws that may affect LGBTQ people. And those include bans on drag shows, restrictions on gender-affirming care, and participation in sporting events.
Scientists have decoded an ancient aroma by identifying the ingredients used in the Egyptian mummification balms. You can take a whiff of it if you're willing to travel to a museum in Denmark, where it will be in an upcoming exhibit. The fragrance is based on beeswax, plant oils, and tree resins.
With summer coming to an end, another season is just beginning.
Yes, and it's a harvest season that's sustained Native people for generations. Wild rice is a plant that grows in shallow waters along lakes and rivers. The Ojibwe people have been harvesting wild rice on ancient rice beds the same way for hundreds of years. And
we were migrating in seasonal events and activities. This happens to be the late summer, early fall of our wild rice picking time, which we call Manumanikewin.
Wild rice is gathered by canoe using cedar ricing sticks. One person pushes the canoe through the rice while the other gently bends the stalks over and knocks the rice into the canoe.
Let's say you went out and picked 100 pounds of green rice, and when you process it, you would probably get about half of that back.
Green rice is rice that hasn't been processed and contains moisture. Once the rice is picked, it needs to dry in the sun before it's roasted over a fire. Sounds like a fantastic time, and it is 5:34 a.m., so coming up, we have some news you can use, including the details on the latest union that's hitting the picket lines and asking more from their employees.
Plus, learn about the new investigation involving Tesla's Elon mode and the safety risks it poses. Those stories and more consumer news after this.
At Cost Cutters, we got style. Whatever your style, we've got it right here. Save big this month at Cost Cutters. Buy one, get one half off on Paul Mitchell and Matrix Professional products this month.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Wausau Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our unique doctor-supervised program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back safely, naturally, and effectively. If you'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no drugs, no hypnosis or surgery, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695.
Hi, I'm Carrie from Wittenberg. I lost over 100 pounds and 68 inches. I know the secret. Prior to starting this program, I suffered with chronic migraines, lots of joint aches and pains, didn't have the energy to be the mom that I needed to be. My energy level's back, my confidence is back. I would definitely recommend this program to anyone looking for a change.
For your free private weight loss consultation, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695.
Our phones keep us constantly connected.
Please switch to airplane mode.
But what if they had a mode to help us actually connect? Introducing Us Mode, a mode that makes our phones less distracting, so we can focus on quality time. So the notifications we get are the ones that matter. So we're never distracted from what's most important. Visit US Cellular in-store or online to set up Us Mode for free, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, built for us.
At Cost Cutters, we got style. Whatever your style, we've got it right here. Save big this month at Cost Cutters. Buy one, get one half off on Paul Mitchell and Matrix Professional products this month.
All righty, welcome back. Many are thinking about the first day of school. Either it's today for some of you or it's just around the corner as well. I'm outside Rhinelander High School this morning where 9th graders are going to be reporting today as well. Then everyone else on Tuesday, 6th graders also report to their respective schools today in the Rhinelander School District. And of course, many schools have started already or just about to start too. Over in Tomahawk, though, we can definitely see some more sunshine there, or at least a little bit of daylight starting to show up. I can see a little bit out here outside the school as well. So not bad as we start things off this morning. We have a few clouds passing through. I've seen some of those out and about this morning, and we can see some of that on the radar and satellite as well. There's a system off right out of the west, and that system is going to help to usher in some heat. We're going to have some heat and humidity moving in yet again, though, and it's going to be very uncomfortable just in time for the holiday weekend. Not great news for those that don't like the heat, as that warm front continues tracking from the southwest and going toward the north and east. So let's break all this down with Futurecast. So partly cloudy today will be the general idea. We're going to be watching out for, again, just a mixture of clouds and sunshine, the general idea too. But we'll add a few more clouds coming up later on tonight. And then by the time we head towards tomorrow, though, the general idea, we're going to be watching out for, again, some more showers and storms that will be possible as well. Looks like, again, I'm having some issues connecting to our graphics real quick, so bear with me here to see if it does come back. And if not, we'll see if we can get that to go. But the general idea is a mixture of clouds and sunshine will be the general idea as we're doing before. There we go. Looks like it's now coming back again. So apologies for that. It seems like we're having some issues with Futurecast, so I'll continue to troubleshoot that. But again, partly cloudy today. And again, later on tonight, though, we'll be be partly mostly cloudy. Yet again, though, with a gusty southwest wind reaching up to 25 miles per hour. So clouds and sunshine today. Gusty winds up to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, clouds move in. A few showers, maybe rumble of thunder possible. And then we'll have a few more clouds again, especially as we head towards your Saturday. And then there they are, though. As we head towards Sunday, more clouds again. The heat and humidity really cranking out, which is not great news for the drought monitor either. And as you can see, rather, though, severe drought being indicated across a good part of the viewing area. Extreme drought further down toward the south and also to the north and west. We need a lot of rain and not much on the way anytime soon. Your muggy meter, alrighty, so dew points will be on the rise. We'll notice a little bit Saturday and a little bit Sunday as well, especially with the heat moving in. By Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll feel it even more with dew points in the 60s and also some 70s. I'll be on the way. With a gusty southwest wind now, reach up to around 25 miles per hour throughout the daytime period today. Maybe getting close to 30 miles per hour in a few spots. And then, of course, gusty winds lingering at least until Saturday morning before it starts to taper off during the afternoon period. Temperatures right now, though, in the lower 50s here across the northwoods. We have upper 40s in Merrill and also in Antigo, with some more 50s further down to the south. A little cool out here, maybe jackets this morning, but overall not too bad. But it's going to get hot coming up soon. Average high is 74 degrees. Lower 80s is what we'll do today. Upper 80s for you Saturday. 90s Sunday, Monday, and a Tuesday. We're going to be feeling that. And then Wednesday we start to cool off in the lower 80s. And then middle 70s as we head towards your Thursday. So for today, partly cloudy and windy with highs in the low 80s and a gusty southwest wind reaching up to 25 miles per hour. By tonight, mostly cloudy, maybe some isolated showers late. We'll have lows in the lower 60s and a gusty southwest wind reaching up to around 25 miles per hour. For your Saturday, sun and clouds, maybe a few storms early in the morning as well. Highs in the upper 80s, southwest wind reaching up to 15 miles per hour. Northwoods Furniture and Mattress, 7-day forecast. Sunday and Monday we're hot with temperatures in the 90s. That continues Tuesday before more storms move in as we head towards your Wednesday.
Auto workers appear to be one step closer to going on strike in a couple weeks.
The United Auto Workers Union has filed an unfair labor practice complaint against General Motors and Stellantis. That's the company that makes Jeep, Ram, Dodge, and Chrysler vehicles. The complaint alleges that the automakers have gone silent and haven't responded to their demands. The UAW asks, is lofty, auto workers want raises of more than 40% over the life of their next contract. They also want cost of living adjustments each year to keep up with inflation. The current contract expires on September 14th, and if deals aren't reached, the auto workers strike against all 3 U.S. manufacturers at the same time. It would mark the first time that's ever happened.
Tesla owners, listen up. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is investigating a hidden feature in the autopilot software. It can reportedly disable the safety alerts drivers get to keep their hands on the steering wheel. That hidden setting is unofficially called Elon mode. The NHTSA is demanding information from the automaker on whether drivers could try and find a way around the safety control on Tesla's driver assist technology. In a July letter to Tesla made public this week by the NHTSA, U.S. authorities expressed their concerns the setting encourages unsafe driving behavior. The probe comes as part of a wider investigation on the software, following a number of crashes allegedly attributed to the technology. This fall, 2 lawsuits against Tesla over its autopilot technology are expected to go to trial.
President Biden is making a move he hopes will ensure 2/3 of all new cars sold in the U.S. by 2032 are electric. His administration has come up with a plan to help U.S. automakers manufacture more electric vehicles. Thursday, the Energy Department announced $12 billion in grants and loans to assist in making that a reality. The money will be used to convert existing factories into plants that make hybrid and electric vehicles. Biden's administration says that the move will help auto workers keep jobs in their communities.
A couple in a D.C. suburb says someone's using their house to scam would-be renters.
They are having a warning sign posted out front of their Arlington, Virginia home.
But they tell Megan Clark it keeps happening.
And I have to be the bearer of bad news for these people that I'm sorry, this is a scam.
Back in March, a neighbor knocked on Pete Giannino and Kate Colwell's front door.
They asked me, hey, we know you just moved in, but are you planning on renting your house? And I said, No, we're not.
The couple's home listed for rent on multiple sites. And the couple quickly reported the lie to Arlington County Police, first reported by Arlington Now. But hopeful renters kept reaching out and showing up, sometimes multiple people a week.
We know people have lost $1,800 deposits. We know that the scammer at one point was saying, don't go knock on the door because the people who are currently renting are afraid of COVID.
The alleged scammer using old listing photos, even conversing with would-be renters over phone and text. One woman messaged the couple to check, saying she knew something was off. And the couple says they've gotten most of the bogus listings taken down. They filed an addendum to their first police report and also contacted the FBI.
We're genuinely very angry that the scammer is doing this to our community and is dragging us into it. Our home is not a pond.
7 News reached out to ACPD. The department sent this statement saying in part that no victims have been found who've lost money. And in many cases of online fraud schemes, the perpetrators are often difficult to identify and in many cases located outside the United States. Without the identification of solvability factors, the case has been listed as inactive.
That's extremely frustrating because that's just people in our community that are getting taken advantage of. Like, if they don't have the resources to solve this.
The couple now hopes there is something police can do to at least stop this type of crime when it happens again.
It's hurting so many people in Arlington County, and this criminal needs to be held accountable and brought to justice.
Arlington PD has an online reporting system for these types of crimes, and they again remind the public, if you're thinking about renting a home, the safest way to do that is through a realtor or property management company. Reporting in Arlington, Megan Clark, 7 News.
They got to drive right by us to get to the off-road race. It's just up the hill. On Friday, we have the big parade downtown, which is the perfect spot for it, right on Main Street. And they got to go by us once again to get out to that big race.
Coming up at 6, Crandon is preparing for one of their biggest weekends of the year.
Stay with us to see how the local businesses are prepping for the influx of customers.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Labor Day sale is going on now, featuring unbeatable deals on fall essentials for your home, work, and vehicles. Like all Skechers footwear, buy one, get one half price. Save 20% on Carhartt denim pants for the whole family. And these Blaine's brand candies, 3 for $6. Plus, when your car's in the shop, get 10% off in-store purchases with $100 or more spent on tire and auto service. Tires and batteries, trust and care. A Blaine's Farm and Fleet promise since 1955.
I was in an abusive relationship for 10 years. Then it progressed from me to my son, and that I couldn't do it anymore, so I purposely became homeless to get away from that scenario. I was homeless for 3 months. I found out about Sunshine for Humanity. I knew I was in a safe place. My life currently now is actually really good. I got my own place. I got a car of my own. I volunteer every Wednesday at the homeless shelter. Our homeless shelter can house up to 8 people. You can stay here as long as you need. If you know of anybody in need, please don't hesitate to contact us. Come to Sunshine. That's where the help is. Help us pay it forward. Keep feet off the street by contacting us today.
Bam! My accident? My accident happened in a second.
My settlement? That's taking a really long time.
If you've been injured in an accident and need money now while your case settles, call Oasis today.
Better days start today. Get the cash you need with Oasis.
There's no risk. If you lose your case, you don't have to pay Oasis back, ever. Applying for Oasis Express Cash is easy and takes 3 minutes. We'll work with your attorney, and if you're approved, get you $500,000 to $100,000 in as little as 24 hours. Use it for bills, rent, whatever you need help with. Just call now or go online to apply. Remember, there's no risk to you.
Better days.
Better days.
Better days start today.
Oasis Financial. because life moves faster than your case.
Call now. Once approved, get your money in as little as 24 hours. 1-800-745-9991.
For many, man's best friend is a dog, but for one Virginia man, they are his donkeys. And when his pregnant donkey needed to be rescued after getting stuck in a pond, he called for some help.
As news photojournalist Greg Moore shows us, the Glasgow Volunteer Fire Department answered that call when it was needed the most.
When I was going up through here, the little donkey was laying across the road, and she was crying, carrying on. And I blew the horn, she wouldn't get up. And I got out and come over here and started rubbing her, and it was like, when I turned around, I looked and said, God, her mother's down there. I knew I couldn't get her out by myself, so I started calling people.
Heard the call go out, I was like, all right, we have a donkey in a pond. What's the first thing we need to do? We got there, and it was like, I never had an incident like this before.
When they got here, it was like chain reaction. And they showed up with backboards, ropes, straps, and everything. And the one guy stood there and made sure he took a place of holding her head up so she didn't drown.
At the end of the day, Emma was pregnant as well. We had to worry about 2 lives there instead of 1. And it made the rescue a little tricky.
We actually pulled the donkey out the pond, and she stood up and actually took off, which that was a great relief in his eyes and ours as well. Having that feeling when she stood up and took off, it was just amazing. I was like, that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
I got other donkeys, but this one right here has got a special place in my heart. Thank you. There's no words that will take the place of what they did. Kind of like, you know, some people's got dogs and I got donkeys. That donkey is like my kid. Come here, Emma. Emma, look here. I mean, I live by myself, and that donkey is part of my family.
All right, as we get things rolling out here, many people are thinking about school already this morning. No, and I'm looking outside Rhinelander High School where the freshmen do report today, though, new freshmen as well, and 6th graders, though, report to their respective schools as well. Starting to see some more daylight now as we get things rolling out here on this Friday morning. But let's take a look at the temperatures right now, too. Not bad. I have a jacket on this morning because that's a polo underneath this jacket, though. But temperatures in the 50s this morning, some upper 40s in Merrill, and middle 50s over in the Rome area. But winds, we're noticing a little bit of a breeze at around 5 miles per hour this morning. Some spots even up to 10 miles per hour as well. But these winds will really begin to increase coming up later today with gusty winds up to 25 miles per hour. Just some clouds moving through for the time being, though. Just in a few spots. I see a few clouds up ahead, but not a whole lot for the time being. So not a bad way to start things off. Sunglasses will be your friend today with all the sunshine. But temperatures in the 80s and 90s across the western parts of the state today with a lot of sunshine there and a few passing clouds. For us, though, not bad. Lower 80s and a partly cloudy sky. While further down to the south, not bad either, though they are. Some 70s and 80s on the way. A little more coming up after the break.
If you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, make Argonne Lumber your first stop. High-quality materials, personalized service, expert staff, and delivery are just some of the things Argonne Lumber is known for. Stop in and smell the lumber at Argonne Lumber, 2 locations in Argonne and Rhinelander.
Jeopardy! Over 8,000 episodes.
Get ready for a 30-minute thrill ride.
43 Emmy Awards.
Competitive gameplay, high scores, and an exciting finish.
More than 500,000 clues.
Look at this. We got a game going.
$5 million winners.
Amy Schneider is now our Tournament of Champions winner.
2 hosts.
Let's play
Jeopardy!
1 Jeopardy!
Wow, what a great game.
Weekdays at 4:30. Brought to you locally by North Star Mohican Casino Resort.
Hello, this is a real lawyer. Yeah, I've won 1 million cases, and I'm on a bunch of billboards.
Whoa, buddy. If they want the real Nicolay, they should get the real Nicolay.
Fine.
Thank you. Russell Nicolay here. Yeah, we can help.
In a world full of choices, make sure you get the real Nicolay.
How'd you even get in here? What are you doing answering calls? Where's your mom, man?
It's the huge Labor Day super sale going on now at the Furniture Den. You will save anywhere from 23% all the way up to 57% off our lowest marked price on pretty much everything in the store from now until September 9th. Buy a top-rated Sealy or Stearns & Foster mattress and receive 2 free memory foam pillows. Or how about a 2-sided Furniture Den mattress with cooling on one side and a traditional cover on the other. Plus, interest-free financing. There are just too many deals to list. Hurry in for our huge Labor Day super sale at the Furniture Den in Antigo.
Attention Medicare customers with diabetes. Now you can stop the painful pricking of your fingers with a continuous glucose monitor. And they're covered by Medicare if you qualify. Call right now for free information.
Live on NBC.
About on Thursday, the Falcon 9 rocket carrying the Starlink spacecraft lifted off from Florida's Cape Canaveral Space Force Station at 10:21 p.m. SpaceX launched 22 additional Starlink internet satellites. It was the 7th launch for this particular booster and the 45th from Florida's Space Coast this year. And so far, SpaceX has sent more than 5,000 of its Starlink satellites to orbit. And that's definitely very good to see, though, with more Starlink satellites going up into outer space, which, of course, helping to boost that satellite internet. And I even know some people up here in the Northwoods, they use that satellite service.
Yeah, Devin, it's exciting. It looked like there was like a bunch of fireworks going off over there. It looked like kind of a bunch of little lightning shows going.
All right, Stephanie, was very interesting to kind of see those things take off and see their beginnings.
Yeah, Devin, would you ever go down to Cape Canaveral and see a nice rocket launch?
I have been to Cape Canaveral before, unfortunately not for a rocket launch, but I would definitely go too. When I went down there, it was years ago when I was still a child, and the space shuttle program was still going on. It was on the launch pad. This wasn't launching that day, but it would definitely be cool to see that in person.
So they didn't launch you into space?
No, they did not launch me into outer space. So I don't know how I would react to that, though, because there's a lot of training, a lot of ways to adjust to that, though. And I know, maybe we should put Michael Woodholtz in outer space, see how he feels to have a little bit of floating around, right? Michael,
I would like that.
I do enough floating around in the water. I think the space is where Devin Biggs could go. You could see the weather a lot better from up there. You could really track a system, I think, right?
Oh, for sure. You basically have your eyes as if you were with the satellite imagery, too, and all that we have there. You basically have that, too, only with your own two eyes, which is definitely very cool, though. But I'm okay having my feet here on the ground, though, because I know many people have their feet on the ground, or maybe they haven't rolled out of bed just yet. Hopefully most high schoolers have rolled out of bed. They're going to be a 9th grade freshmen as they're starting school today.
Yeah, hopefully they have some good weather as well at the start of their school day, Devin.
Exactly, yeah, and so far we're looking good. Just a few clouds overhead. The moon's right over there as well, so we're not too bad as we start things off. For today, there are partly cloudy sky, temperatures in the lower 80s. Upper 80s Saturday, some morning showers and storms cannot be ruled out. And then Sunday, lots of sunshine, temperatures getting hot in the mid-90s. A little more coming up after the break.
In today's economy, it seems the value of a dollar continues to shrink, while the services offered are getting less and less. Here at Maher Water Corporation, a new high-efficiency system made by WaterCare can help ease the stress on your checkbook. We are always available to analyze and recommend one of these units.
So while we can't actually make your money grow, we can make the value of what you get from Maher seem like it.
With Allegra, allergies don't hold us back. Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin. And unlike Zyrtec, it won't make us drowsy, so you can live your greatness. And for kids, try Children's Allegra, the #1 allergist-recommended non-drowsy brand.
Flu shots at CVS are pretty flex. Schedule one for you or the whole crew. Plus, they're free. Really? Healthier is getting a flu shot on your schedule. CVS. Healthier happens together.
There are never enough hours in the day. I'm always making trade-offs, sacrifices. But I'll keep going. Even when it feels like there's no way I can do it all, I won't give up. I'm doing this for me and for them. We're doing this together. North Central Technical College's virtual college. Flexible learning, because our time is precious.
She has 3 Grammys, 16 ACM Awards, CMAs, 14 AMAs, and the Kennedy Center Honors.
But there's still one left.
Reba McEntire joins The Voice Monday, September 25th on NBC.
Not yet, Reba.
Sorry.
Builder Service. We are your hometown hardware store. Plumbing, electrical, paint, automotive, keys, tools, lawn and garden. We're more than just a lumberyard. Highway 45 in Elko.
Live on NBC 12, this is Newswatch 12 Today.
Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us today. I'm Michael Lodholtz.
And I'm Jackie Smith.
People are getting ready for the Labor Day weekend, but in Forest County, it will be certainly one to remember. KISS
is set to take the stage Friday night, and it will be the start of the annual off-road races at the Crandon International Raceway, and local businesses should be seeing quite a boost.
Our own Muhammad Abdul Kawi gives us a look at a popular family business in Crandon that has been busy preparing for a weekend of rock and roll and racing.
Palabicki's Eats and Treats is one of the many businesses in Crandon preparing for the big weekend in Forest County.
Well, we have the off-road races, the KISS concert. It's Labor Day weekend, and we're ready.
Preparation is a little bit different for the workers at Palabicki's Eats and Treats during Labor Day weekend. Sue Palabicki says due to the amount of customers in the area, changes have to be made.
We have to do things different. We double order, triple order. We brought in extra coolers. We're geared up for it.
Leah Palabicki is one of the many family members that helps the restaurant function properly.
I've done it for 7 years.
She says having enough helping hands is important for their success.
Sometimes we can get by with just like one girl short, but not this weekend.
Inventory is also crucial.
There's been food trucks in here all week just getting us stocked up because we're gonna need a lot of extra food.
Palabicki's Eats and Treats is not your traditional restaurant. They specialize in offering car hop services to customers. Sue says because of that, it allows them to form close bonds with families that stop by.
We've got the same race crews coming year after year. We look forward to them. We know their kids. We watch the families grow up. It's a fun weekend for everybody.
And with Friday being the day that everybody is waiting for, Leah says it's game on.
So I better get some good shoes on and get a good night's sleep tonight because we're going to be busy.
Despite the estimated 60,000 people that will be in attendance at the Crandon International Raceway, the Palabickis told me that they'll be ready to serve the community no matter what it takes. Reporting in Crandon, I'm Muhammad Abdul Kawi, Newswatch 12.
Thank you, Muhammad. That looks like a great place to grab a burger. We were just commenting on the burgers during the story.
Looks really good.
Exactly. Have you ever been to a drive-in to eat, Jackie?
I have. Well, kind of. We have a place back in Spokane that I went to, but...
So you drive up and they put a little tray on your window as well?
Yeah.
Nice, nice. I don't know. It's a fun time to. It's very summertime-esque.
Absolutely. I like it.
Yes. We had Dog and Suds in Tomahawk that still does it, so they're always the go-to, but I'd love to get over to the Crandon one there. That looks like a great time as well.
Now I am like really, really hungry. I mean, big weekend in Crandon, so much ahead, but also a big weekend for our freshmen around here in Rhinelander.
Yes.
As they are heading back to school today, and we have Devin Biggs outside at the high school. So Devin, how is it going this morning?
Yeah, going pretty well out here outside Rhinelander High School this morning. I was just looking over here behind these baseball fields over here, though, and I just saw some deer, a couple deer walking around this morning as well.
Oh. So are they going back to school?
Doing its thing. Yeah, I guess the deer are heading back to school as well this morning as we start things off. So that's going to be very cool, too. So you have to out and about this morning already. It's starting to see a beautiful sunrise as well here. And, yeah, freshmen heading back here at Rhinelander High School today, and apparently some deer, too. And the sixth graders at their respective schools today also. But meanwhile, though, in Tomahawk, though, because I'm sure other places are heading back to school as well, we do have a beautiful sunrise there from that camera this morning. Always nice to get a beautiful shot from that one. And meanwhile, over in Rhinelander, we have a little bit more light now. The flag waving around there this morning. It will really start to wave around later today as we get some more gusty winds going. Radar and satellite, not too bad for the time being. No, just some clouds currently tracking through. Otherwise, a very quiet start. I've seen a few clouds out here as well, but a lot more sunshine than anything else. So you'll want the sunglasses as you head out the door today. Temperatures cooling off a bit, 48 degrees in Rhinelander. I felt that little cool breeze earlier as well. 44 degrees in Merrill and other spots, so in the 50s to start things off. Here it is, back from the dead, though. The bus stop forecast, upper 40s this morning with a partly cloudy sky as the kids come home, though. Already upper 70s with a partly cloudy sky. Guys?
Francis sent a telegram meeting to Chinese President Xi Jinping as he flew over China on his way to Mongolia.
Following a near 10-hour flight, Pope Francis arrived in Mongolia's capital, Ulaanbaatar, on Friday morning. It is the first time a pope is visiting Mongolia, a largely Buddhist country with a community of about 1,500 Catholics.
Elsewhere in the world, Typhoon Sola appears to be weakening near Hong Kong. Though still equivalent of a Category 4 hurricane, the storm will continue to weaken the closer it gets to the city. And according to the Hong Kong Observatory, the center of the storm is forecast to stay just off the coast and skirt within 100 kilometers south of the city.
Canada has issued a warning to its LGBTQ citizens about traveling to the U.S. The warning says Canadians should be aware of certain state laws that may affect LGBTQ+ people. Those include bans on drag shows, restrictions on gender-affirming care, and participation in sporting events.
Scientists have decoded an ancient aroma by identifying the ingredients used in Egyptian mummification balms. You can take a whiff of it if you're willing to travel to a museum in Denmark, where it will be in an upcoming exhibit. The fragrance is based on beeswax, plant oils, and tree resins. It's safe to say happy Labor Day weekend, even if there's one day of work left.
Yesterday was the busiest time on the road this long weekend, according to INRIX, a global provider of transportation data. AAA says domestic travel for Labor Day weekend bookings are up 4% from last year, with international trips up 44%. Travelers have plenty of company, plenty of concerns. Drivers are seeing near record high gas prices for this time of year, and AAA says the nationwide average is $3.82 a gallon.
It's hard because we have 3 kids, so getting stuck in traffic sometimes is a tough one.
Meanwhile, flyers are experiencing the busiest air travel summer on record. The Transportation Security Administration estimates more than 14 million passengers are flying between Friday and next Wednesday, nearly 11% more than last year.
Up next to Newswatch 12 today, while the live version of the Eras Tour isn't done yet, Taylor Swift is giving fans an opportunity to see her in a whole new way, Jackie.
Yes, we'll bring you the details on her big screen plans. Stay with us. We're back in 2 minutes.
Set summer in motion with the most fun-to-drive Honda vehicles yet. Like the Civic, the vehicle car and driver called more fun to drive than the competition. And the HR-V, with sleek exterior styling and smooth, responsive handling. This summer, chase fun in the sun with Honda, the most awarded brand in Car and Driver 10 Best history. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now. It won't cost you anything to find out if we can help you. We are the Mortgage Defense Line, and we can help you save your home. Don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-970-8640. That's 1-800-970-8640.
Carpet City. Come to Carpet City Flooring Center and get the toughest waterproof floors in the industry, where they're in stock and on sale. Rigid Maximum XL is 50% thicker and 30% longer, resulting in maximum durability, which is perfect for active families and pets. Not to mention, it's easy to install. Come to Carpet City Flooring Center to get your Rigid Maximum XL waterproof floors today.
Carpet City, our prices will floor you.
Hi, Bob Pucci for Take Kid Hunting Foundation. We're having the Eagle River Gun Show this weekend at the Ice Arena on Highway 70. Admission is $8, 14 under are free. Show hours are Friday from 3 p.m. to 8, Saturday 9 to 5, and Sunday 9 to 3.
Check out Lakeland Furniture's end of summer sale. As we clean out inventory, get 25% off everything in the store and 50% off selected items. Save big on our National Mattress Sales event going on now. Take advantage of the savings at Lakeland Furniture and Mattress, Minocqua.
All right, welcome back. Happy Friday morning. And for freshmen at Rhinelander High School, the first day of school as well. The school's pretty quiet for the time being, though. The sun's starting to rise as well. A beautiful sunrise right about over there as well. And sixth graders, though, will be going back to their respective school buildings today in the Rhinelander School District. But meanwhile, though, another place that has a beautiful sunrise over in Tomahawk. Look at this view we had this morning from the camera there. A nice way to start things off here on a beautiful Friday morning with just a few clouds mixing in. And not too bad otherwise, though. Just a few clouds are tracking from the west and going toward the east. I can see some of those up in the sky, but you'll want the sunglasses. Say there will be a lot of sunshine as it continues to rise. There is a warm front off toward the west. That's going to help to usher in some heat. Now I'm talking 80s and 90s on the way just in time for the weekend, so make sure that we are ready for that. So as we move forward for today, though, partly cloudy skies will be the general idea for us today. As we head towards the afternoon, a gusty southwest wind gets going up to around 25 miles per hour. Later on in the evening, we'll keep that gusty wind going with some clouds passing through from time to time. Early Saturday morning, maybe a few showers along with some clouds passing through. Maybe a rumble of thunder if you're lucky as well. But by Saturday afternoon, we'll have clouds to the south with some clear skies to the north, though, revealing plenty of sunshine as well for Saturday afternoon. Later on in the evening, though, maybe a few passing clouds. But Sunday, the heat really starts to get going. Not great news for the drought monitor, though. Look how dry we've been lately, though. Severe drought across the northwest and also to the north and west. Further down to the south, also some severe drought. Also extreme drought, but a tiny bit of exceptional drought just in the northwestern parts of the state. So we need a lot of rain, and unfortunately not much on the way anytime soon. Dew points will be on the rise, so we'll really feel that with the warmer temperatures on the way. Maybe getting close to the lower 60s Saturday and Sunday, but we'll start to notice a rise Monday, Tuesday, also into Wednesday into the 60s, possibly upper 60s as we head towards the Wednesday. We'll make sure to keep an eye on that. Gusty winds on the way. They're reaching up to 25 miles per hour out of the southwest during the afternoon period, maybe up to 30 miles per hour in a few spots as well. We'll keep that going later on tonight, though, but by the time we head towards tomorrow, notice the winds do start to back off slowly but surely. It's a little cool out here this morning. Middle 40s in Merrill right now, upper 40s over in Rhinelander. Many other spots, though, in the lower to middle 50s this morning. So very refreshing as we do start things off. Average high temperature is 74 degrees. Lower 80s is what we'll do today. With the upper 80s Saturday, 90s are back. Hello, as we head towards Sunday, Monday to Tuesday. Lower 80s Wednesday and middle 70s as we head towards your Thursday. So your forecast for today looks a little bit like this. Partly cloudy and windy with highs in the lower 80s and a southwest wind gusting up to around 25 miles per hour at times. For tonight, mostly cloudy, maybe some isolated showers late overnight towards early tomorrow morning. Lows in the lower 60s and a southwest wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour. Northwoods Furniture and Mattress 7-day forecast. A few showers and storms possible Saturday, mainly during the morning period for a few spots, though, as temperatures heat up during the afternoon. Sunday through Tuesday, lots of sunshine, maybe a few clouds and hot temperatures in the 90s. Some storms Wednesday as we cool off in the lower 80s and then mid-70s as we head towards your Thursday.
Well, if you couldn't make it to a certain music superstar's latest mega tour, you're getting another shot for the price of a movie ticket. And Michael, you know, I was very excited when this was announced.
Yes, Jackie has been telling me all about it for at least almost a day now. David Daniel explains in today's Hollywood Minute all the hype.
People would come up to me and they'd be like, "You're gonna just like do a show with like all the albums in it?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be called the Eras Tour. See you there."
Taylor Swift is taking her Eras Tour to the big screen. A 2-hour, 45-minute concert film documenting the singer-songwriter's record-breaking tour is due in theaters on October 13th, including AMC IMAX theaters. Hours after tickets went on sale, websites for many AMC theaters showed nearly full cinemas for opening weekend.
You have some experience with possession.
Yes, more than I'd like.
The Taylor Swift ticket sales were enough to scare off the Exorcist Believer. The horror film was due out the same day, Friday the 13th of October. But after the Eras Tour announcement, Universal moved up Believer's release date 1 week to October 6th. Producer Jason Blum confirmed the news on social media, adding the hashtag Taylor wins. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And coming up, we have what's trending, including the world record recently broken at a University of Nebraska women's volleyball game.
Plus, see why Dolly Parton turned down a cup of tea with Kate Middleton. Those stories up next in What's Trending.
Attention homeowners, first we started with 50, now we're looking for 30 homeowners who need a new bath or shower. We want to evaluate our custom bathing solutions for safety and convenience. Call Mad City Baths, Wisconsin's #1 remodeler and trusted local source for American-made baths and showers installed in as little as 1 day. And with our price lock guarantee, we'll guarantee your price for 1 year. Now 30 homeowners will save. Receive free installation of a new bath or shower. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. Senior and military discounts, plus call during this program and receive a free $50 Walmart gift card with your in-home estimate. From Wausau in north central Wisconsin, call with zip code and location to qualify. 715-941-4238. That's 715-941-4238.
I was in an abusive relationship for 10 years. Then it progressed from me to my son, and that I couldn't do it anymore, so I purposely became homeless to get away from that scenario. I was homeless for 3 months. I found out about Sunshine for Humanity. I knew I was in a safe place. My life currently now is actually really good. I got my own place. I got a car of my own. I volunteer every Wednesday at the homeless shelter. Our homeless shelter can house up to 8 people. You can stay here as long as you need. If you know of anybody in need, please don't hesitate to contact us. Come to Sunshine. That's where the help is. Help us pay it forward. Keep feet off the street by contacting us today.
At Northwoods Furniture and Mattress, we're celebrating 16 years of helping you make your home your own with furniture and mattresses you love. We carry top brands, La-Z-Boy, Flex Steel, Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, and more. We also offer the area's largest selection of Amish-built furniture. Most items are in stock and available for express delivery. Personalize your home with a variety of unique lamps, wall art, accents, and area rugs. Visit our 2 family-owned furniture stores in Eagle River for exceptional selections, service, and savings.
Welcome back to What's Trending. Today we're joined by a very special guest, Derek Dreyfus, who you probably haven't seen on TV in a while. So
not in a long while.
No, he was a reporter, but now he's in our creative services. But he wanted to be our couch correspondent for the Friday with Devin out in the field. We're very happy to have you this morning, Derek.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
Yeah, so we'll get right back into the trending topics for the day. Jackie, lead us off.
Yes, it was a record-setting night in the Cornhusker State. The University of Nebraska says its women's volleyball team set a new world record for the biggest announced crowd at a female-led sporting event. That honor comes after 92,003 people came to watch the Huskers host in-state rival Omaha on Wednesday night. Previous record was nearly 91,700 people at a women's soccer event in Spain last year. Now, as for the Huskers' performance on the historic night, they came up big. The 5-time national champs beat Omaha in all 3 sets, never trailing at any point.
Wow.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of volleyball. I love volleyball. I used to play when I was little. I wish I would have stuck with it, so.
No, volleyball is fantastic. I did, a little bit growing up as well. Joined a league when I moved back here to Rhinelander area. It was a fun time, always has been. I love going to watch it as well, so I understand why they're setting world records there.
I was going to say, with volleyball for me, and most sports in general, like playing them, don't really follow them professionally.
No, I think it's impressive. They set the world record. I thought that would have been like a World Cup game. The Women's World Cup just happened, but no, college volleyball.
I wonder if they were trying to go for that, or if they just happened to fall upon it. I don't know.
Just a side gig that they really excelled at, apparently.
Absolutely. Derek could have driven down and joined one of the 90-some thousand people.
Should I admit right now that I am blanking on where Omaha is right now?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
The Cornhuskers.
Yeah.
What a beautiful name for a team. But we'll move right along and get on to the corn, because you hear of missing dogs and cats pretty often. But in Barrington Hills, Illinois, someone is missing their bull.
Oh, no.
Yes, in the village of Barrington Farmington Hills and the police department released these images of the animal, and they were captured by a residence security camera. The bull escaped its property on Friday, and it has been on the lam ever since. Police are asking residents to call 911 if they see it and not approach the bull that may appear friendly. And we did check in on this, and it still is on the lam, Derek.
Oh, I was going to ask if this was related to the person who was driving with the bull in the park or in their car at all.
Yes, they are not related. No.
Just a lot of bull stories happening. This is the second story we've read, I think, in the past month of a bull on the loose.
Was there more than this that I just missed, or?
Yes, there was another one somewhere else. I don't think it was in Illinois, but I remember recently we read one about a bull.
Yeah, I believe there was a bull that got loose in Virginia, and it was just tromping around, and it was just like on the loose for like a week or so, and now this bull has been on the loose for now a week, since it's Friday, and we had a story yesterday about a bull riding in the passenger seat of a car. Unrelated. There's just a lot of bull business going around here.
I mean, if you were in Yellowstone National Park, seeing buffalo, wildlife on the roads is nothing new, but I feel like in Illinois, that's a bit of a stretch.
Might make you have like a second glance at it.
Yeah.
But moving on to our last story.
Yeah, Dolly Parton turned down tea with Kate Middleton.
My goodness, how dare she?
The 77-year-old country music legend was in the United Kingdom promoting her new album, Rockstar. In an interview, Parton told BBC Radio 2 host Claudia Winkleman she was so busy she had to decline the Princess of Wales invitation. Parton said she thought it was a very sweet and nice gesture for Kate to invite her to tea, and she said she wants to do it one of these days. Parton said she felt so bad for saying no to the royal family, but she also joked that she knew the opportunity would not help her record sales, because Kate would not promote her album. Rockstar is set to release on November 17th. On it, Parton collaborates with several UK legends, including Paul McCartney, Mick Fleetwood, Sting, and Simon Lee Bon.
Would you guys turn down an invitation for tea with the royal family?
No, absolutely not.
What if you're super busy?
I would get tea with them. I'm drinking tea right now. I mean, it'd be a great time. And I guess Dolly Parton isn't of the same boat. I know Derek, though. You'd love some tea with Kate Middleton, wouldn't you?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know them personally. I don't know. Do we have the same chemistry? I do not know.
Would Kate Middleton be a good couch correspondent?
Hey,
exactly. That's what you have to think about.
I, could see a new scandal popping up. Kate Middleton and couch correspondent Derek Dryfurst here, getting tea. Because Dolly Parton said no, so she had to fill the seat with somebody. It does make sense.
And I'm that somebody, apparently.
I mean, your hat's in the ring.
Here's the thing, is it wouldn't have maybe, Kate Middleton wouldn't have promoted her album, but the publicity would have helped promote the album. So I think it could have worked out in the end for her.
I feel it would have given her some good, some goodwill with the British public, to hang out with some of the royals, something that means a lot to them. But, we're not on Dolly Parton's publicity team, and probably for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, but we have some goodwill for Derek Dryfurst joining us today. Thank you so much for hopping on the couch with us.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Check out our lighting showroom and update your home's exterior. Patriot Lighting is available in so many unique styles and finishes, you're sure to find a look that's right for you. With more than 300 stock lights priced under $100. Pick up this Treehouse Outdoor Wall Light for $21.97 after 11% rebate. Visit our lighting showroom or check out all our lighting options on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Come see the fresh changes Woodland Creek Furniture has made to its showrooms. There's an ever-changing selection of unique furniture, much of which is made at Woodland Creek's own facility right here in northern Michigan. Did you know we build custom dining tables, vanities, beds, consoles, and more? New nature-inspired accessories are arriving daily, from lighting and lamps to wall art and rugs. You are bound to find that special accent for your home or office. See hundreds of exclusive designs available only at Woodland Creek in Minocqua.
At WJFW, our Newswatch 12 news team works around the clock to bring you the news that matters most of all to the North Woods. Our team is committed to the community and ensuring that you are as informed as possible. The Newswatch 12 team works hard to deliver the most important stories from around the globe, local and national sports updates, and weather reports. We are NBC Newswatch 12, news from where you live.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
Good morning and welcome back. Today, Friday, September 1st, is the World Letter Writing Day, Jackie.
Yes, author Richard Simkin founded the unofficial holiday in 2014. I would have guessed it would have came earlier.
Yeah.
Simkin fell in love with writing letters and while writing to people he considered to be legends in Australia. He now does letter writing workshops and promotes it as a way for adults to take a break from social media. To celebrate World Letter Writing Day, just pick a friend or relative, grab some paper and pen, and write a letter to them. You know, I still write letters occasionally. I like it. I think it's fun. I used to have, do pen pal stuff with one of my friends.
Really? What was the last letter you wrote?
To my grandma.
To your grandma. Handwritten?
Yes, it was, because I was just giving her an update on things.
Yes. She can read your handwriting.
Sometimes.
That's impressive. Mighty impressive. It's always tricky, you know, making these handwritten letters, because even if you write in cursive, you know, and you write as neatly as you can, sometimes your cursive writing is not legible to other people's cursive writing.
Yes.
It's just, there's no conformity here.
My family just we all have really bad handwriting. And so, while I may write a letter to my grandma that she can maybe read half of it, she writes a letter to me, I can't read any of it.
Yeah, I liked when professors would leave comments, like they'd leave like a paragraph comment, and they'd write it in cursive, and I could get like half of it.
Yep.
And they would like say, you know, oh, fix this, and then they'd write half of it, and I'd be like, I have no idea what they're trying to get the point across here.
Yeah, nope, it's letters, I like them, but yeah, handwriting, I like to type, maybe.
Yes, if it's important and, you know, really pertinent, maybe, you know, do your best. Do your best. Maybe type this one out.
But maybe we should send a letter out to Devin Biggs, who is outside the high school this morning. And Devin, it's getting brighter out there.
It is getting brighter out here as we start things off this morning. No, the sunshine is starting to rise as well. Freshmen report today. The Rhinelander High School sixth graders also report to their respective school districts today as well, at least over in the Rhinelander School District in their respective buildings, I should say. But everyone's back as we get towards Tuesday after the Labor Day holiday. But for now, though, not too bad as we start things off this morning. Upper 40s over in Rhinelander, some lower 50s in Antigo, middle 40s in Merrill, and some 50s, excuse me, further down to the south. So overall, 40s and 50s is what we're seeing out there this morning. Here's a little bit of wind at about 5 miles per hour for now, but this will really be picking up later on today with gusts up to 25 miles per hour possible. Watching some clouds tracking from the west going toward the east. I can see some of that this morning, but the sun is going to be the name of the game today. Have the sunglasses ready whenever you're commuting. Travel forecast today, 80s and 90s across the western parts of the state with a lot of sunshine and a few passing clouds. For us, though, partly cloudy, highs in the lower 80s, or further down to the south. Not too bad. Those are 70s and 80s on the way. Let's check out today's birthday club.
The jam, pump it up while your feet are stumping. And the jam is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Pump it up a little more, get the party going on the dance floor. See, cause that's where the party's at, and you find out if you do that. A place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight. Make my day. A place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight. Make my day. 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 Yo, pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are thumping. And the jam is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd are jumping. Pump it up a little more, get the party.
Keeping your family close together in your home these days are important. Let us remodel your kitchen and bath. Kitchen Bath Mart specializes in complete remodels for the past 35 years. From design to install, we'll take good care of you. Stop in or call us today at Kitchen Bath Mart. We're your #1 choice in kitchen and bath remodeling. Highway 70 East in Arborvitae.
At Lakeside Living Design, we've always got something stylish in store for you. Whether you're looking for high-quality custom upholstery, decorative accessories and gifts, or are designing your space entirely from scratch, you'll have a friendly designer by your side, sharing their expertise, helping you bring your unique style to life. So stop by, explore our showroom, and together we'll make your space feel just like home.
To everyone who's hungry for something special,
Culver's is the place for us.
Hi, what can I make fresh for you today?
It's nice being greeted by people who are glad to see you. And I appreciate that they use real ingredients, like fresh beef and Wisconsin cheese. The frozen custard is so fresh and creamy, it tastes like it was made just for us.
It's our pleasure.
Just spending time with family, that's what mealtime at Culver's is all about.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious!
You're ready to rock with a new dock. You need expert help. Dvorak's Docks provides high-quality flow products and is equipped to install them correctly. If you want the best, go with the flow. Whatever obstacles arise, Dvorak's will find a way to get the job done. You can rely on us to work with integrity from start to finish. Launch your deck project today so you're ready for warm weather fun. Leave the hard work to us so you can enjoy the lake life.
Complete your home's decor with furniture from Northwoods Accents in Mercer. A casual store where you can enjoy browsing high-quality, made-in-the-USA furniture without a high-pressure sales force watching your every move. From sofas, recliners, bedroom sets, mattresses, dining room sets, and home decor, we have it all at Northwoods Accents, 5079 North Highway 51 in Mercer.
Live on NBC 12, this is Newswatch 12 Today.
Good morning and welcome to Newswatch 12 Today. I'm Jackie Smith.
And I'm Michael Lodeholtz.
And well, September, first day of September is here. Summer's kind of winding down, Labor Day weekend, and then Kisses in Crandon got the races, and first day of school for freshmen.
Yes, and to highlight the return to school, we sent our own Devin Biggs out to the Rhinelander High School. Devin, good morning, and how are you doing out there this morning?
Good morning. I'm actually a little chilly out here right now. It's cool as we start things off, a little bit of a breeze. So yeah, maybe a jacket or a sweatshirt this morning as you head out the door. I just have my polo and this jacket on, so definitely try to stay warm for a bit, though, but the sun's rising over the horizon, so yes, I mean, some warmer weather will be on the way. 80s is what we'll do today, but for now, another place that has a beautiful sunrise is over in Tomahawk. We can see a beautiful sunrise there this morning from the camera looking there, so it's nice to get a beautiful view as we start things off here in September now. Meteorological fall, too, for those that are interested in that little statistic. But otherwise, though, in Rhinelander as well, a little bit of a breeze out there. The wind's kind of backed off for the time being, but we're really going to start watching with a flag to wave around there today with some gusty winds on the way. Alrighty, partly cloudy out toward the west, moving to the east right now. I can see a few clouds overhead, so partly cloudy will be the general idea for us. And these temperatures, they're going to warm up fast. We're going to go from the upper 40s in Leona and Rhinelander and middle 40s in Merrill and other spots in the 50s this morning to the 80s coming up later on today. Bus stop forecast to get the kids off to school. Most of us starting off in the 40s and 50s this morning with a partly cloudy sky. As the kids come home, though, a lot warmer, upper 70s, lower 80s, remaining partly cloudy as well. Guys?
Pope Francis sent a telegram greeting to Chinese President Xi Jinping as he flew over China on his way to Mongolia.
Following a near 10-hour flight, Pope Francis arrived in Mongolia's capital, Ulaanbaatar, on Friday morning. It is the first time a pope is visiting Mongolia, a largely Buddhist country with a community of about 1,500 Catholics.
Elsewhere in the world, Typhoon Sola appears to be weakening near Hong Kong. Though still equivalent of a Category 4 hurricane, the storm will continue to weaken the closer it gets to the city. According to the Hong Kong Observatory, the center of the storm is forecast to stay just off the coast and could skirt within 100 kilometers south of the city.
Canada has issued a warning to its LGBTQ+ citizens about traveling to the U.S. The warning says Canadians should be aware of certain state laws that may affect LGBTQ people. Those include bans on drag shows, restrictions on gender-affirming care, and participation in sporting events.
Scientists have decoded an ancient aroma by identifying the ingredients used in Egyptian mummification balms. You can take a whiff of it if you're willing to travel to a museum in Denmark, where it will be in an upcoming exhibit. The fragrance is based on beeswax, plant oils, and tree resins.
Marshfield is currently building a new facility to manage PFAS contamination in the city. Marshfield Utilities has begun constructing a temporary PFAS removal building at the Southside Booster Station. The city currently has 4 wells that were shut down in 2022 after tests revealed PFAS contamination in Marshfield's water. Once construction of the PFAS removal facility is complete, the wells will go back into service, currently scheduled for early 2024.
Governor Evers has announced the appointment for Price County District Attorney. Matthew McElroy will serve for the remainder of the current term that ends on January 2025. The appointment fills a vacancy created by the resignation of former District Attorney Carl Kells. McElroy is currently an Assistant District Attorney in the Wood County District Attorney's Office and is a graduate of the University of Wisconsin-Madison and the Marquette University Law School.
The City of Wausau and Wausau's Police and Fire Commission have announced the appointment of Jeremy Kopp as Wausau's next fire chief. Kopp has been serving as a firefighter for 28 years since he joined the Weston Fire Department at 18 years old. From there, he went on to join the Wausau Fire Department in 2004. And there, Kopp worked his way through the ranks all the way up to deputy chief before his appointment as fire chief. Kopp's appointment will go into effect in December. The formal swearing-in ceremony will be announced at a later date. The Wisconsin Legislature, Senate, and Assembly Committees on Sporting Heritage held a joint public hearing yesterday in Park Falls.
The topic of discussion was deer management and the ongoing deer population issues in northern Wisconsin. Around 80 people were at the Park Falls Town Hall, and the topics that were discussed included predator population affecting deer population, harvesting metrics, deer distribution across the state, and Representative Chance Green helped organize the public hearing. He says it's important for legislatures to meet people where they are.
I think the public's input, especially because they're out in the woods, they're out hunting, they see more than a lot of us do when we're in Madison, so they know more than we do about this, and we represent the people down there. So these meetings are crucial. I'm glad we had it, and we had a great turnout today. I was really happy to see everybody show up and voice their opinion.
Some hunters told legislatures that they're seeing fewer deer in their long-time hunting spots than in years past. Another topic discussed was on how the number of hunters is decreasing in the state, with the average age of a hunter being around 65 years old.
From today's hearing, I really think that we pointed out a lot of the issues northern Wisconsin are dealing with, and hopefully we can go back to Madison and put a plan together that will address them.
Members of the Joint Committee will meet in Madison soon to discuss what they heard during the public hearing.
An Ohio State lawmaker has been removed from his leadership role in the House.
Following his second domestic violence arrest over the weekend, on Thursday, Republican State Representative Bob Young was in court for a hearing. Young is charged with 3 counts of domestic violence, assault, and violating a restraining order. 2 charges stem from a July incident. Some fellow lawmakers feel Young needs to be expelled completely, and according to the Ohio Constitution, House members to be punished for disorderly conduct. But to expel a lawmaker, a resolution vote by 2/3 of the chamber must be approved.
Communities are assessing the damage after Idalia.
President Biden is promising federal assistance for a full recovery, but FEMA's funds are running dangerously low.
NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington with details.
Cleanup is underway after Idalia left a path of destruction along the southeast United States.
We weren't prepared to lose all of this.
President Biden will get a first-hand look at the damage when he travels to Florida Saturday. He announced the trip during a visit to FEMA headquarters.
I'm here to thank all of you, and I really mean this. Thank you.
Governors also praising state and local responders for their efforts.
There's a lot of resources being put on this mission to be able to get them up and running as quickly as possible.
Amazing response. They've gotten a lot done.
Utility crews from across the country are helping to restore power.
We are working 24 hours a day, and we will be on the job until we get everybody's lights back on.
Lawmakers return from recess next week, and President Biden is urging Congress to approve more disaster relief money.
We need this money done. We need this disaster relief request met, and we need to do it in September. We can't wait.
The president requesting $12 billion to ensure that FEMA can help communities impacted by disasters recover.
For the package, so don't say today.
Coming up next, how are changes in the global market affecting local farmers in Wisconsin?
We'll dive into the latest developments on Wisconsin ginseng exports when we return.
And a beautiful start here this morning as many kids are returning to school here in Rhinelander today. Freshmen and sixth graders are heading back. Your full local forecast is coming up next.
Can you name a dessert that's so widely loved that it's found in every part of the world? Stick around and we'll share what it is and how darn easy it is to make.
Eagle River Roasters, your Northwoods coffee roaster and community coffee house, has the freshest specialty coffee and tea in the Northwoods. Our coffee comes from choice Arabica beans, hand-blended and roasted on premise for the finest specialty drinks. Fresh bakery, breakfast, and lunch served daily, our comfortable coffee house is the perfect place for meeting friends or groups. The drive-thru is also open daily. Treat yourself with a great cup of coffee or take some beans to brew at home, fresh from Eagle River Roasters, your Northwoods coffee roaster and community coffee house.
At Schrader's, we love summer, and it shows. Find the perfect dress for that warm weather event. Summer shoes, sandals, tops, and skirts in the latest trends, and something beautiful to accent your garden.
You'll always find something to love at Schrader's in Antigo.
Hi, Bob Pucci for the Take Kid Hunting Foundation. We're having the Eagle River Gun Show this weekend at the Ice Arena on Highway 70. Admission is $8, 14 under are free. Show hours are Friday from 3 p.m. to 8, Saturday 9 to 5, and Sunday 9 to 3.
As a combat wounded veteran, I know how hard it is to come home and build a meaningful life. When I was in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. A rocket-propelled grenade exploded right under my seat. Traumatic brain injury, a fractured pelvis, severe burns. They didn't think I was going to make it. I had to learn to walk again and live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like LaToya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
With DAV on my side, I was able to pursue my dreams. If my story can touch a heart, it can change a life. My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
LaToya Lucas, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
All right, welcome back. Happy Friday. And for freshmen at Rhinelander High School, happy first day of school as well. A new school year is starting to get underway. Sixth graders, though, also reporting to their respective buildings today in the Rhinelander School District. Some students have already headed back across our viewing area, or will be heading back, with almost everyone heading back as we head towards Tuesday after Labor Day. But let's take a look at things right now over in Tomahawk. A beautiful sunrise this morning across our viewing area. We have a nice view of that from a Tomahawk camera there. So a great way to start things off this morning. Just a few clouds that are passing through as well. You can see some of those clouds up in the sky this morning. I can still see the moon for a little bit, but we'll start to lose visual of that as we get some more daylight going. As we zoom things out and give you the bigger picture, though, again, not a whole lot going on, at least at this point, though. We do have a warm front in parts of Minnesota. That's going to move in soon. That's going to help to warm our temperatures up with 90s. Yes, 90s that will be on the way. So we want to make sure that we're ready for that, though, when summer's not done with us just yet. We'll be under a partly cloudy sky for us today. Gusty southwest wind reaching up around 20 25, maybe 30 miles per hour at times. But by later on tonight, a few more clouds will be moving through yet again. Maybe a few showers as we head towards early Saturday morning. Maybe even a few rumbles of thunder as well. Whatever develops will clear out during the afternoon period for you Saturday, with clouds to the south and sunshine to the north as well. And again, maybe a few clouds again as we head towards early Sunday morning as temperatures really begin to warm up. But again, not great news for the drought monitor. We've been dry recently, and with this hot weather on the way, that's not going to be doing us much favors. With severe drought to the south, though, and also to the north, pretty much all over our viewing area, seeing some drought there, some extreme drought to the south, too, and to the north, and one small area of exceptional drought in the northern parts of the state. Otherwise, though, your muggy meter, here's what we're looking at, though. Dew points will be on the rise a little bit, not as much, though, for Saturday and Sunday when the temperatures crank up, but we'll notice a little bit Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with dew points in the 60s and maybe getting close to the 70s. Yet again, gusty southwest wind reaching up to around 25 miles per hour again this afternoon, maybe getting close to 30 miles per hour in a few spots. We'll keep the winds going later on tonight, but starting to back off again as we head towards your Saturday. Temperatures right now, we have 52 degrees in Antigo, 48 degrees in Rhinelander, 45 degrees in Merrill, and a lot of 50s further down to the south and also to the north as well. So overall, not too bad as we start things off this morning. Perhaps sweatshirt weather or jacket weather as we start things off this morning. Average high temperature is 74 degrees, lower 80s is what we'll do today. Upper 80s Saturday, 90s are back Sunday, Monday to Tuesday. Hello, we're not done with summer just quite yet, but lower 80s Wednesday and mid 70s as we head towards your Thursday. For today, partly cloudy and windy. We'll have highs in the lower 80s and that southwest wind gusting up to around 25 miles per hour. Later on tonight, the lower 60s, mostly cloudy, maybe a few isolated showers on the way, though, with a gusty southwest wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour. Northwoods Furniture and Mattress, 7-day forecast. There's that chance for morning storms Saturday, highs in the upper 80s, 90 Sunday with a lot of sunshine. You'll want the air conditioners ready with a few more storms as we head towards Wednesday as we start to cool off.
I don't know any questions.
Thank you, Devin. Roughly 95% of all ginseng exported from the United States comes from right here in central Wisconsin.
But the industry still has yet to recover from the Trump administration's trade standoff with China. Our own Jake Force was at a ginseng farm yesterday and has more.
Back in 2018, this crop probably had over $100 million in direct effect on the local economy. Today, it's probably less than half of that.
The state of Wisconsin grows over 95% of all ginseng crops in the United States. But since the height of the Trump administration's trade standoff with China, one of the biggest importers of American ginseng, the industry has been dealt a major blow. One that Will Su, the president of Su's Ginseng Enterprises Incorporated, says has allowed other countries to outpace the U.S.
So that means ginseng, American ginseng that's produced in Canada or other parts of the world is able to get into China at a lower price than ours because they do not have the same tariff on their product.
With Wisconsin being America's largest producer of ginseng, combined with impacts from tariffs, the industry has been forced to downsize, which has heavily burdened local economies.
Around the time of the trade war, there were probably close to 120 to 130 farmers growing ginseng here in central Wisconsin. Today, we're fewer than 90.
And although the issue of trade may be politicized, Su noted that this problem has spanned well across both the Trump and Biden administrations. He also said in addition to the tariffs, the pandemic exacerbated what was already a pressing issue.
So the trade war hasn't cooled in terms of ginseng. High tariffs since 2018, and then you added the effect of COVID. And so with the Chinese economy being shut down, with people on lockdown, they weren't able to go out and purchase the product or purchase as much of it as they wanted.
And coming up next on Newswatch 12 today, we'll be joined by the Forest County Humane Society for this week's adorable edition of Homeward Bound.
But first, Howard is in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with a recipe for classic rice pudding.
Mr. Food Test Kitchen is brought to you by Golden Carrot Jewelers and Rhinelander Cafe and Pub.
So here's a question for you. Can you name a dessert that's so widely loved that it's found in every part of the world? It's not chocolate cake or apple pie. Those are favorites in our country. I'm talking about a dessert that's embraced everywhere. It's rice pudding. And to bring that old world taste into your world, here's how you make it. We started by combining some milk, rice, sugar, and beaten egg yolks in a pot over medium heat. After the mixture comes to a boil, we let it simmer for a bit until it thickens up. Just make sure you stir frequently so it doesn't stick. Now, we remove it from the heat, stir in some vanilla, and let it cool. Then it's ready to serve. Now, if you're wondering if you can use lactose-free nut or soy milk in this, sure you can. Whether you dish this up in a big bowl and let everyone dig in, or you serve it in individual portions, you can't miss. To get the recipe for our creamy, dreamy, classic rice pudding, all you have to do is visit our website. I like mine with lots of whipped cream and a little cinnamon on top. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an internationally loved way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Labor Day sale is going on now, featuring unbeatable deals on fall essentials for your home, work, and vehicles. Like innovative, quality-driven Goodyear tires. Right now, buy 3 Goodyear tires, get 1 free, with up to $100 in consumer rebates on select Goodyears when you buy 4. Plus, when your car's in the shop, get 10% off in-store purchases with $100 or more spent on tire and auto service. Tires and batteries, trust and care. A Blaine's Farm and Fleet promise since 1955.
In 1930, we began helping people in Milwaukee who were hurt and killed by the carelessness of others. For more than 90 years, the awards for our clients totals well into the billions of dollars, probably more than all the other personal injury firms in the state combined. When entering a negotiation, it helps to have that reputation on your side. We have the talent and resources to take on the big corporations for regular people all over Wisconsin. Habish, Habish & Rotier, national reputation, hometown service.
There's only one place to turn for your local and high school sports highlights, analysis, and more. Friday Night Blitz on Newswatch 12, Fridays at 10 p.m. Friday Night Blitz is brought to you by Rock Oil Refining Incorporated.
Check out Lakeland Furniture's end of summer sale. As we clean out inventory, get 25% off everything in the store and 50% off selected items. Save big on our national mattress sales event going on now. Take advantage of the savings at Lakeland Furniture and Mattress, Minocqua.
Introducing Granite Stone, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Look, sticky candies, burnt-on cheese, caramel and chocolate. Even upside-down pan pizza just doesn't stick. Perfectly sear a filet or fire flambe. Get your Granite Stone pan for just $19.99. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan, absolutely free. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-898-6703. That's 1-800-898-6703 or order on.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Northwoods Furniture, Eagle River. Homeward Bound on Newswatch 12 today is sponsored by Paws and Claws.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Homeward Bound Today. We are joined by Jay and Angie from the Forest County Humane Society, and we have some rambunctious little babies with us today. So tell us about who we have.
Okay, well, these are the Border Terriers that we brought when they were being bottle fed, and you got to bottle feed them.
That was a great day.
They were not quite ready to go home, but now they are ready to go home.
Oh.
So we're hoping that they get their forever home really soon, because we just hate to see puppies grow up in the shelter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that is John McEnroe.
Yes, John McEnroe, after the tennis player,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Sometimes we call him JP, sometimes we call him Mac. He's got a lot of nicknames.
Oh, that's my microphone.
But yeah, he's being really rambunctious right now, but he actually is really pretty mellow.
I was gonna
He's
say
usually the couch potato of the group.
Yeah, he was out there when he was sitting with our producer, and he was just hanging on our lap, completely chill.
Yeah, but now he's got a sudden burst of energy.
Yeah, it's early in the morning. He's excited for back to school,
right?
I'm sure. Back to the couch. But tell us a little bit about who would be good to adopt these fellas here.
Well, puppies can go in just about any family.
Yeah.
They can have cats. They can have other dogs. You know, they're young. They'll adapt.
Border Terriers are going to stay small, mid-size.
Yep.
John
He's
Mack
gonna get
is
big.
good. Yeah. The family that surrendered him said that they thought he was a Rottweiler Lab.
Oh.
So he might be a big black Rottweiler Lab.
Yeah, up to 90 pounds. You know, he could be big. You never know.
I think he's actually younger than them. They're right about the same age and about twice the size.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
The same age. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy how different they can be.
So are any of the puppies bonded together growing up, or are they kind of...
Well, they always will in their pet, you know what I mean? But Oddly enough, you don't want to usually adopt siblings out together because eventually they will not get along.
It'll be behavior issues.
One will dominate. So we try not to ever adopt out siblings from the same litter.
Yeah, there are exceptions. Some families make it work.
Yeah.
Sled dog teams kind of make it work, but it can be tricky.
It can be, So we try not to do that.
Yeah. So how's the situation over there at Forest County with the dogs this summer?
A little better.
A little better? That is great to hear.
Well, like Lenny that was here a few weeks ago, he went home, and Kai, who'd been with us for over 2 years, went home. Yeah, and doing wonderful. So we've had a smidgen of adoptions. So we've got like, well, we don't have any open space, but we're back to not an overflow and maximum.
Somewhat normal.
We're not using as many crates. And So.
And if people would like to see these ones in person, they are going to be at the Crandon Courthouse during the parade today for Brush Run. So people, if you're going to the parade, come check these guys out in person and see their personalities and see how soft they are.
They might even
have very soft.
Yeah.
They might even have an appearance on a float.
Yeah, and they'll be on, well, not these ones, but different ones. Different puppies will be on.
We have a lot of puppies.
Yeah.
You guys pretty much help raise stars at the Forest County Humane Society.
Yeah.
You prepare them to be on the big time. But it's good to hear you guys are doing better. People want to reach out to contact you guys about any type of adoption, especially, I mean, Crandon's going to be busy this weekend, so hopefully you have some visitors for your dog walk as well.
Yeah. Well, there probably won't be a dog walk. We're all going to be at the races.
Fair.
So, yeah, it's a busy weekend. But yeah, if people want to get a hold of us, you can find us on all forms of social media, Facebook. You can reach out to us by email, Forest County Humane Society, or our website, forestcountyhumanesociety.org, or email foresthumane1@yahoo.com. And we have 2 to 6, Wednesday through Friday, open hours, and Saturday 10 to 4. And our Sunday dog walk, except this weekend, is that
fantastic.
Oh, did you find the treat bag?
Found the treats. John Macker always causing trouble.
Was in your pocket.
It might be a hunting dog because the nose definitely works.
Yes, the nose knows.
So these guys also found your treat bag, so you know. You may be wearing it, in the hood. Good job. Maybe you weren't as subtle as you thought. But for now, let's bring it out to Devin because he has some trivia for us.
Yeah, maybe out on the field outside Rhinelander High School, so as they get ready to exercise their brains again, we're going to exercise your brains this morning with some trivia. Which names did the National Hurricane Center retire from the Atlantic hurricane season list last year? Pick 2 answers, though. Is it Fiona, Ian, Danielle, or Earl? 2 of those answers are correct. The answer when we come back.
See the exceptional selection of jewelry at Golden Carat Jewelers. Artistic handmade jewelry by Michu and Bellatois. Fashion-forward designs by Mira T. and Frederick Sage. The latest trends and the forever classics from Facet Barcelona, Catan, and more. Your full-service jewelry store in downtown Minocqua. Golden Carat Jewelers has a surprise for everyone.
Save 11% on everything now at Menards. Get the comfort and support you'd expect from a new mattress with Serta. Find the perfect mattress that fits your size and firmness needs. A Serta mattress in a box is compact and easy to transport, making it perfect for students heading back to school. Just unpack and unroll for an easy and convenient setup. Right now, Serta gel memory foam mattresses are starting at $289.95 after rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
At Big Valley Ford, we know that car buying is more than just a transaction. It's an experience, and we're here to make it a great one. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you through finding the right vehicle to fit your needs and budget. Big Valley Ford is passionate about every vehicle that enters our service center, and our team of technicians are here to help you with all of your service needs. Stop into Big Valley in Ewan, Michigan, and experience a Big Valley difference.
She has 3 Grammys, 16 ACM Awards, CMAs, 14 AMAs, and the Kennedy Center Honors.
But there's still one left.
Reba McEntire joins The Voice, Monday, September 25th on NBC.
Not yet, Reba.
Sorry.
Stop in at Northwoods Accents in Mercer to browse a huge selection of outdoor Hollywood furniture. For
From octagon picnic tables, patio dining sets, relaxing gliders, or colorful fire pit or dock chairs, we have it all. While you're there, be sure to step inside for a great selection of made-in-the-USA furniture and mattresses, too. Maybe even check out an old hickory shed for your outdoor storage needs. All at Northwoods Accents, 5079 North Highway 51 in Mercer.
Builder Service. We are your hometown hardware store. Plumbing, electrical, paint, automotive, keys, tools, lawn and garden. We're more than just a lumberyard. Highway 45 in Elko.
And a special birthday shout out to our country store winner this morning, Ozzy Thompson from Lac du Flambeau. Happy birthday and congratulations. You win a free ice cream cone and scoop from the country store in Eagle River.
All right, Devin Biggs out there with a trivia question.
All right, apologies for that there. Which names did the National Hurricane Center retire from the Atlantic list last year? There's two answers here. Which ones do you guys think?
I think Fiona and Ian, A and B.
I agree. I think it's also Fiona and Ian. I feel like we've gotten those a lot. What do you guys think, Jay and Angie?
I'm sticking with you guys. Yep.
Yeah? You think so?
No clue.
No clue? All right, Devin, what's it going to be?
Both A and B. You guys are correct. I'm actually impressed, though. I thought it'd be a bit more of a challenging answer, but good job, guys. Fiona and Ian were both retired from the Atlantic hurricane season list. Those names will never be used again in a future list because of how bad they were. But you know, they're over in Tomahawk this morning, no? Alrighty, so a lot of sunshine to start things off, as well as here in Rhinelander, too, as many students are starting to report to school already. Freshman students, their first day of school, so they're getting very ready for that, too. A new school year underway. The flagpole showing the winds are blowing just a bit, though, in downtown Rhinelander, and they'll keep gusting today with gusty winds getting up to around 25 miles per hour. Partly cloudy is the general idea right now. Looks like we may have a few sprinkles, though, in the western parts of Wisconsin there within the last few hours or so. So we'll let that fast forward to about right there, though. We can see a little bit of some returns there in western Wisconsin there. But otherwise, though, your next 7 days, partly cloudy today, temperatures in the low 80s, upper 80s Saturday with a few morning showers and maybe a rumble of thunder. Sunday to Tuesday, we're dry and hot, and storms by Wednesday.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Devin. Yes, big weekend in Crandon, so much ahead. So maybe while you're out, you know, once you're all done, you can stop by and adopt a dog.
Yes, John McEnroe's got plenty of energy for anyone looking to go and adopt this weekend.
Absolutely. Are you guys excited? You guys gonna be heading out there?
Oh yeah, we'll be out there all weekend.
Yep, and you guys can see them at the parade today later in Crandon. See all the action for the Forest County Humane Society.
Yep, they're gonna have some dogs out there. Very exciting weekend. Stay safe, everyone, and we hope to see you again on Monday. Take care.
Weather Watch 12, weather from where you live.